Looks like we're good to go. Yep. Okay. I'll call this meeting to order and have a roll call. And I've looked around the room. The only Hancock County's not here and Lowell is not here. So other than that, we have everyone here. I sent out a copy of the previous minutes and there was a couple corrections that I had to make. So I can either read them to you or we can wait till next month for Brian to come back and do those corrections. It's up to you. Anybody care? Well, we'll table that till next month then. Before we start with old business, I want to do some kind of new business. I know all of us have spoken highly of the district and of the staff and the equipment and everything, but I had a whole new perspective a little about over 60 days ago. I experienced what ended up being an MI, a non-STEMI MI, and my wife gave me the two choices: go to PVH or go to St. Joe's. I said, no, we're going to PVH. And after I got there and I found out that it looked like I was having an MI, I made a text and I said, I'm going to need a ride. And not too long after that, the doctor came in and said, who the heck called an ambulance? I went, so he said, well, you don't have a bed. He said, beds, like, we don't even know when you're going to leave. And I went, okay. About 15 minutes later, he came in and he goes, this never happens. He goes, you go to bed. I said, and I have a ride too. But basically, I just wanted to I want to tell you that everything we say about these guys is true. And this is new. I get emotional now. I used to have one feeling. No, I think I have more.
You were heartless before.
What's that?
You were heartless before.
I didn't have much left, did I? Anyway, I ended up with a quadruple bypass. When they took me into the cath lab, they came back out and they said, you could have died any day. And I texted Josh a picture of what they showed me, and he said, you could have died any day.
Any second, not any day.
Yeah. So I'm just thankful that the Lord took me through all that, and that these guys, they took me down, and it was an interesting ride. It was never been, and then the whole episode was interesting to me because I'm usually on the other side of the bed, being a clinical pharmacist. I've never, this is the longest I was ever down, the longest I didn't drive. It's like, this is crazy. It wasn't on my radar, but everything worked out well. The operation was successful. I had a couple of crappy days that I didn't like, but one of the guys downstairs asked me and said, you know, you're looking good. I said, well, I feel pretty good, except I thought it was going to be, being Bob, I thought this was going to be like, we're going to get it done real quick. I'm going to feel like like it was before, but it's going to take time to get the stamina back. But I'm just thankful that I'm still here and I can bug you guys more. I just want to say thanks again to Josh. Josh was my paramedic on the way down. We had good conversation all the way. I'd say, what's that? He goes, oh, you're doing this. And I'm going, I can feel it. So I just wanted to just thank, to tell you from my perspective, everything we say about these guys is true. I knew it was, but I've got a whole new perspective now, and I'm thankful for them. So on we go. This on old businesses, Jeff had talked about fundraising. We're going to talk about more about that probably next month and going forward. I don't know what that's going to entail, but we've got some ideas. And Chief, could you give us an update of whatever you have on the two new vehicles? If you have anything.
On the pickups.
Yeah.
So, I emailed Thornton Brothers and they're in production to the point that they have a VIN. So I don't know if that's early in the production or if it's late in the production.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, but at least
I was just curious where they were in the
Sure.
process is all.
Which tells us two things. They're building these vehicles out. It's not coming off of, it's being built for us, correct?
Yeah.
Just back in the old days, when you
So you-
ordered a vehicle, you could order and then they would do it. Well, they don't do that anymore. You get what's on the lot, so.
It's been a public safety package.
Yeah. And quite a good price. On to we can do finance. Do you guys all have the sheets that we got in the finance sheets that were printed for the profit and loss statement? If you want to look through that, and if you have any questions, we can address that. It appear, and I guess we could share that, can't we?
You have another copy?
Yeah, we're gonna put it up there. Oh, you can get it. What is the share screen thing? Hmm? Oh, I don't know.
There's no.
Oh. Push some buttons.
Try not to mess it up.
Don't worry about it.
I'm good at that. I don't know.
I don't see share screen on there, do you?
Trying to see where the button is. Oh, true.
That one up there.
Yay.
Warming up.
We kill some lights a little bit so we can see. Can we make that bigger?
Save it yourself.
There you go.
Oh, that's the money.
Yeah.
Is there a more time? Switch the part of it.
Is it all or nothing? I thought there was more than one split.
All or nothing. If you guys are good, I'll just turn it off in a moment so you can all see it.
Yeah. So there it is, and you've got a copy. If you've got a copy, it appears that under income, it looks like some places have double paid and then some places pay and then pay later. We're doing well. I mean, we're right up to date with everyone when you look at the total numbers.
It's taking closed captions.
Out of us. How do I get to this screen, to the next one?
Right, closed captions. Excuse me.
Yeah, it's kind of hard words.
Oh,
I have closed captions. So you put them back.
oh, yeah. Yeah, she likes it. That's good. Yeah.
You know, I'm just making sure they're actually going.
Okay, yeah.
All right. I had a question. The auditor fee, we budgeted 10 grand because that's what we thought it was gonna be. Did they actually bill us for that? Like,
We haven't seen a bill yet.
we haven't seen the bill yet. What's that number in there? Do we know?
No idea.
Okay.
No.
Because it shouldn't be they did us the same time they did Howland.
Yes.
So basically, they thought it was gonna be 10 grand, but they knew it'd be less. So we don't know yet. We haven't seen a bill,
Yes.
but they've completed the audit.
I don't know if it's complete. I can tell you that they haven't asked for any more
No,
documents.
what I'm saying is they've come and they've gone.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
They've got all the documentation that they required.
okay.
When can we expect a copy of that?
2027.
Must be that up and down arrow there. No?
I guess it would be probably good to ask Howland when they get there, if it's in your
Oh, there we go.
line. Because I would assume it would be the same time.
And go to the
frame.
second page. There we go.
Because
All right.
they were
Is that working
working
up
on
there?
hours the same time that they were doing Howland.
Like your closed caption.
I'm sorry.
I lost closed captions.
Yeah, but it's because we're on this screen rather than the other. Go in there, okay. And then I'll switch the screen in a minute. So other than that, does anybody have any questions on that first page that you've got in front of you or it's on the screen?
This is your second one now.
Okay. What's that?
I can't see it.
I didn't have any questions, so it looked like it was the questions that we had last time.
Yep.
Had gotten resolved.
Yeah, there was a it wasn't a miscalculation, it was a miscategory. Right. And there was one in here, and I think it's come out, that 997 in September is not a lease, it's the rental of, that's the price. That's the price for the new used ambulance, correct?
997.
Yeah, it's right here. And it's a
997.
927. 99.
Of the new ambulance?
Is that the, I think that's what we said the
And
other
I
day.
can't remember what.
It is, yes.
It is, yeah, that's
Okay,
what I
there
thought.
you go.
So that one, that number is not a lease, that's actual, that's like the loan payment. We'll probably get it recategorized someplace else later, but that's what we pay each month. And this is a good spot to say, the new used ambulance is in service
Mhm.
and working. How are the other ambulances doing?
Okay.
Yeah.
We got the one back that had the transmission going.
Yeah.
It'll be lettered tomorrow,
Okay,
so it'll be sent down in the morning. No, I'm sorry. No, that isn't the one that's gonna be lettered. It's going back to Autotronics tomorrow because there was an emergency light issue. So I'm waiting to hear back on the date. We're trying to get one by one, get the lettering done. We only did one last year. And, we're trying to get them all done now because it's been obviously on the second year, so.
okay. And as far as revenue goes, I just wanted to give you an update. I talked to Amanda McPherson the other day, and she sent me an aging report of any institutions that owe us money, i.e. hospitals. And there's one hospital that owes us close to $20,000, but they're in the process of paying. And it's current money. It's not like old money. And then there's a couple bills from Northern Light that it looks like those are in the process of being paid too, because the same people, there's notations that she talked to the same people. And then we had one that's about between a 90 and 120 days for a hospital that's not PVH, that's local, that I sent them a thing today. I sent them a request to when and what your schedule is to pay us, because it's outstanding for a long time. And that's for actual transfers. It's not for, if you remember, well, it's not last year, but earlier this year, they taken, what's it called again? I always get it wrong.
Take and leave.
Yeah. But we take a
It's a
patient,
wait
that's
and return.
wait and
It's
return.
an inpatient procedure.
Yeah, the patient's an inpatient, and then they go someplace else, have something done, and we bring them back. Penobscot Valley readily said, we'll pay you within 30 days, and they have. Millinocket said, they didn't actually say anything, and I asked for an email and then a call, and I never got one. So I directed Josh and the staff, we don't go to Millinocket to do those anymore. Because if they're not going to pay in a timely fashion, we're not going to do it. Because it makes no sense at all. So,
Yep.
That's that. And I'm going to jump ahead for a moment. I was at a Enfield Select Board meeting Monday night, and there was a gentleman there that was talking, asking a lot of questions and making a lot of comments about the district, some of which were educated, some of which came from didn't know. So, and one of them was about the vehicles that we purchased for the deputy chief and the chief for their use as paramedics, because they're on call 24/7, 365. And the gentleman couldn't understand why we were buying them. And I said, well, let me explain to you. In the past, both Howland and the district, as we came on board, paid their gas and their insurance, nothing for wear and tear, essentially. And I said, if they're coming from their home to your home on a call, they should not be using their own vehicles. They should be using district vehicles. And that's why the board unanimously approved the sale of those two, the purchase of those two vehicles, so that we can do that. And then he came up with like, so why do we need a plow? And I went, well, I asked that same question. And I was told that if in the middle of winter, there's either a fire or an ambulance call and your dooryard's not open, we can't get in. So for buying a plow that will last us probably more than 10 years, because it's only going to be on in those times that we need it on, it won't be on the trucks all the time. I said, we can bust out your dooryard and take care of either the fire or take care of you without hauling you over a snowbank. Oh, I went, so, and I said, but on top of that, I said, what you don't know is we bought 2 winches so that we can take trees out of the road for any of the towns, because they get, the district gets called for towns that have, there's a tree down on the line. These guys go. And now we'll be able to just haul them out of the way so that we don't have to call Public Works and have Public Works come out of overtime, if you will. They can take care of it afterwards and it'll be off the road. So I'll have more comments about that when we get to the new business, because it's something that I think we need to do, but we'll just skip on from, I just want to throw that in because it was pertinent to this part of the conversation. Any questions about what we have in front of you right there? Do you see the value in this? This is the way we're going to do it every month, that you can see where we are and where we are, and then according to budget where we are. And I think for me, it's really helpful. Any comments or questions about that?
I like it a lot.
Am I still here? Yeah, we're still on the, say again?
I like it a lot.
Good. Well, we're going to continue to do that. And then, and like, there'll always be something that'll pop up that may get miscategorized, and then we can fix it, so it's not a big deal.
And it's way less headache to fix it month by month.
Then all the way
than
at
it is
the
to
end.
try to fix it at the end
Yeah,
of the year.
and it'll also
Way less
give us a
headache.
really, it'll make
Yes.
the budget process next year much better, because it's
Everybody's gonna have a handle on it before we get to 1 month of trying to.
exactly, yeah, okay. I think this is probably not a bad time, and I'm not up to date on this one. Did something happen with the payroll system wasn't taking out the retirement for the staff?
Yeah, back in the beginning.
Okay, so we caught up now?
Yeah.
So that's why we had a big warrant
Yeah.
recently. So that's what that's about.
That's the normal HR payroll headache.
I was gonna say payroll companies typically, it's hard to get everything in a new situation, especially when there's new things cropping up.
Yeah.
So that's not unusual.
That should be a one-time struggle.
Okay. I'm gonna move on to new business. The white ladder truck is now decommissioned.
Yes, sir.
And all the fire equipment is off of it. So I've got a motion that I propose that I can read it.
What should I change?
What's that?
What should I
Yeah,
change?
come on, yeah. Got a motion to sell the white ladder truck, and I move that the board authorizes the sale of the white ladder truck owned by the district by Chief McNally, with the initial sale price being $12,000 of best reasonable offer. The sale will be to any valid purchaser. Do I have a second? Discussion? Questions, comments, concerns?
Any free offer?
No, it hasn't been advertised. The station that I thought might want it went out and bought a newer one.
So it's now not, I mean, someone could buy it. Is it still serviceable as a ladder truck? If it,
Not as a fire truck.
not as a fire truck. So basically, what we talked about, what Josh and I talked about early on was either a tree company or a roofing company would love to have a ladder like that. I mean, there's some value there. So, and if we do get anywhere near the 12, how's that put us with the new ladder?
That's about what it's cost to put that in service.
Okay, so it'll be a break even. Actually, it'll be a free, and free's not bad. So, all in favor of that motion? That's unanimous. Thank you very much. Sell it. Excellent. Chief, can you give us a staffing update? What's going on with staffing?
We've had a couple guys move on, and we had filled those vacancies. We start orientation next week with the new recruits. And that's pretty much it.
How long did it take you from the resignation to the hire?
a week,
Is that unusual?
just a tad. It would have never happened before.
Usually new hires, they have any background in it.
One was a volley before, no certifications per se, but he was a volunteer. And then, one of them is an advanced CMT, and one of them, I can't remember. Do you remember the kid from Portland that you interviewed?
English Park Service.
He has park service. He was more on like law enforcement side, but, was he a volley somewhere
I
before?
think him and his brother were,
Yeah,
his brother went law
so-
enforcement.
So the big bottom line is that we lost two and very quickly we hired two. And I think this is just me. I think it's because of the atmosphere here and the reputation that we're building. Because it's just not that easy to hire good people. So now there's going to be some cost to this, but that's the cost of doing business. Okay. Instead of a chief's report, I've talked with both, especially recently, but in the past also, to both Cody and to Josh about what things they do that are different or above and beyond what other fire chiefs and deputy chiefs do. So I want to ask you, Josh, if you could, and this is by education, this is not, he's not tooting his horn, I'm asking him to do this so that we understand as directors, and then the public understands what duties that these two are doing that are out of the ordinary for the most part. So this is not toot your horn, but tell us.
Out of the ordinary from other fire chiefs.
Yes.
I'm a fireman,
Yeah.
so when we go out of our area, I fight fire.
Okay.
I'm not in a command role. I'm in a line position, so I wear an air pack and I fight fire.
Okay.
Paramedic role, no other fire chiefs that I know of work on an ambulance. And so if they're a paramedic, when they become fire chief, they don't have to do ambulance calls. I still do ambulance calls.
Mhm.
We don't have enough paramedics to go around, so that's why Cody and I are on duty so much.
Yeah.
So that you do have paramedic level coverage. I may be coming from home, but the ambulance will be there ahead of me to start care until I can get there. You can get there. So that's an oddity. I'm the HR person, or we are the HR people. Where I worked before, there was an HR department. We do the bookkeeping. Where I worked before, the town office did the bookkeeping. We do all of the quality assurance. That's an oddity. So we do all the paramedic quality assurance. Essentially, we're the training officers. The station I worked for before had a training officer.
Mhm.
What else?
How about
I
turning
do-
wrenches?
Yeah, I can weld, I can clean carburetors, tune chainsaws. We do a fair amount of that sort of thing, mounting equipment, different things. There's a fine line there. As far as I can do a fair amount of stuff, but, we try to keep a line as far as liability.
Right.
So there's certain things that I could probably tackle, but I'm hesitant with certain things because they're emergency vehicles. So
Right.
we source out a fair amount of that, but like when pump the other day wouldn't start. So I tore it apart, and a portable pump, tore it apart, cleaned the carburetors and got it running. And I like doing that sort of thing. It's just my time is so limited that I can't do a lot of preventative maintenance, but I try to. So I'd like to do more, but we have to outsource it, and it's at a high rate, but I don't have a choice with some of it.
No,
But,
and that's not I didn't ask the question to say that you should do more.
Yeah.
I want folks to know how much do they do that's out of the ordinary, because it is out of the ordinary. And if the things that you just, the half a dozen or 8 or 9 things that you just outlined, if we had to pay extra for that, it would be huge. So I just wanted to make sure that we know that you know that, because I kind of do, because I'm usually here a couple, 3 times a week.
I do the billing, the fire billing.
Yeah.
My days are full, I can tell you that.
Yeah, go ahead, John.
You give us some idea about what you do for overtime? Because that's quite unusual to do for a fire chief.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
The one up the road works 32 hours a week.
Right. Yeah, so my fire chief was an administration guy. If we had a big fire, he'd come, but when he was off at 3 PM, that was it. He's done. And then the weekends, same thing, unless there was a major fire in the town. And even then, sometimes he was a figurehead, and that's how it works in the bigger towns. That's what they do.
And he's in their administrative
That's what they
period.
do.
Yeah.
But so it's definitely different here. The roles, I basically, him and I fill every role from a line guy to an HR person.
Yeah.
So there's not a day that the plate isn't very full.
Well,
And I look back and I honest to God have no idea how I got anything done before I used to run transfers on top of it.
Yeah.
And the only transfers that him and I do now are the PVH ones.
Yeah.
Because they might be our citizens that
Yeah.
need to go to Bangor. So if we don't have a paramedic to send, one of us is gonna go do it,
Thank you.
just to get them to Bangor. Yeah, yours was the case. There was
Yeah.
no paramedic, so
Yeah.
I said, I'm gonna go, but I'm trying to think, what else? The days are a blur most of the time.
Well-
Small grants, the retirement stuff.
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
do all the grant writing.
And one of the,
Retirement, that's an HR thing.
to answer your question, I was here, it's been a couple of weeks ago when he told me in one day or a day and a half, lost 2 guys. And I said, so what are you gonna do? Because I'm gonna have to work all the time.
I've been on for 3 weeks.
Yeah, there was no hesitation. He says, that's what I'm gonna do.
By being on, can you explain that? Yeah, not everybody.
So the way that him and I work is through the week, we're at the station. So we work a 10-hour day and I can go home after 10 hours, but I'm on call back. So if the ambulance moves or there's a fire call, I have to come back in and either backfill the station to keep staffing here, or I have to go to the scene. So essentially during the week, you pay me salary for up to 48 hours a week. And there's not usually many weeks that I'm not at 48 hours. It's usually more than that, but I'm on call at night. So there's no beers. I have to be in a state of readiness all the time. And so we backfill. I sleep in the chair downstairs a good many nights. So what, did I answer some of that?
Yeah.
And then, so when I don't have staff, I end up having to pick up the slack
shifts,
as
yeah.
a line guy.
Yeah.
And
And you and the deputy chief swap back?
Yeah.
and forth, how do you-
we swap, yeah. So, he's up tonight, so I got hit the last time. So when we both leave the building, we take turns. Instead of, it used to be, it was always me. And I was never home, but, so now, tonight, which they're busy right now, they've got 3 transfers deep right now, so,
They have 3 transfers right now?
lined right up. So back to back to back. So he'll have to stay tonight until they get back in service. And when they get back in service, he can leave. And when another one comes in or a 911, I have to come in. So we swap back and forth that way to keep the station covered and or provide paramedic backup. So-
On the weekend.
The weekends are it's a whole nother animal.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead, John.
Thank you. No, I think that's important because there's been discussion about these 2 vehicles in the past. And I've had people ask, why do they need 2? And I think it's important to understand that these 2 fellows are available all the time.
All the time.
hire 15 more paramedics.
Just
I
to have
won't
one
need it.
vehicle and try to figure out how does the chief get it to the deputy chief, or the deputy chief?
Yeah.
Do they leave it here? And if so, do they respond here?
They're
and
still
then go to
running
the
their own
scene?
vehicles, yeah.
You know,
So-
all the time he meets the ambulance on the interstate.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
does that mean coming here to get the pickup and meet the ambulance?
Yeah.
It's not.
No, it's,
No, well, I can tell you this, John. I bought the first nice vehicle I've ever owned during COVID. That pickup that I have that isn't anything special, but it's special to me. It's the nicest vehicle I ever had. And it had 20,000 miles on it when I bought it. And anybody that knows me can attest that the furthest that I ever go was to Sherman to visit my mother twice a year. And I might run to Bangor 3 to 4 times a year. That pickup has 107,000 miles on it now. Well, it sure the hell didn't get it from me out gallivanting. It was for
No.
this town.
And basically, thank you. Because I wanted everyone to understand, and I think most of us understood this, but I wanted it articulated so that the public will know and that we all will understand what these guys really do and what this whole department does. And it's different.
The other thing I'd like to say is, these both are paramedics, they respond to paramedics. If we hire 2 more paramedics, fill that slot, fill that emptiness, you know, what I'm trying to say. What's it cost to hire 2 paramedics full time? You know, these 2 trucks are what, $50,000 a piece? Put that out over 5 years, that's what, $20,000 a year what we're spending on these trucks. So to make sure these guys are available.
Yep.
Figure that in as 2 more paramedics. What's that cost? You know, that's probably a minimum of $200,000.
Yeah.
The other thing, John, is you know, because you've been in the fire business, but the Howland Fire Department should have had a pickup a long time ago. When you go to a fire and then have that mess, that's when the work begins to clean up all of that hose and all the stinky air packs that you don't want to put back in the truck because of the cancer. So you have all of that stuff that we got to bring back here and clean. After a fire, we could be at a fire 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours. And then you come back here at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, you have a minimum of 2 to 3 hours worth of work to get those trucks back in service. Well, if you have a pickup, you could throw all that stuff in the back of the pickup. And so why should I have to have somebody, you know, bring their own pickup to haul all that stuff in here? You know,
Forbid you're setting on the interstate. You know,
Yeah.
Then your vehicle is gone.
well, then who's liable for it?
Well, first of all, thank you both for what you do. And I just wanted to, once again, I wanted us to hear that. And Mr. Micklejohn, I'm hoping you got all that down because it's important. Yep. I've got a new one. Can you tell us what's going on with the Howland, with water in Howland?
I have no idea what's going on other than they've had poor practice flushing the water system. So we've helped flush. I paid overtime 1 year. It might have been 2018. I paid guys overtime to go with the town water guy to flush the hydrants, and they were absolutely terrible. We had cups full of rocks. We'd flow hydrants better than 5 minutes and still not get clear water.
What does that mean to us as a
Well,
department?
it means something to us because when you put that stuff into a fire pump, it's about $20,000 to rebuild it because the tolerances are tight. So I have no idea what's going on right now. And I can tell you when we flushed the next year, our hydrant flows increased so that it needed to be done.
Yeah.
And by standard, it's supposed to be done spring and fall, the entire system, not 1 or 2 hydrants. And if it was done, then you wouldn't have cloudy water when it's flushed.
Yeah.
So what's going on now is our house line, we flowed water the other day, which is where we fill the trucks from, and it's full of sediment. And so I have no idea, but it's like sandpaper in the fire truck.
So
So I don't know. I've talked to the water and sewer director, and he seems to have a head on his shoulders as far as what needs to be done. I don't know why it's not being done.
Glenn, I don't want to put you on the spot, but since you're not only us tonight, but you're the town, can you look into that?
It just seems to be this one line because doesn't seem to be any complaints in town and lots of other areas. So it's this main line through here. It's affecting the laundry quite severely too. So,
But
Mike, did you talk to David about what the plan of action was? Because I haven't talked to him.
I believe it's gonna be this coming week, I'm not sure. Gonna start right at first hydrant on Route 2 in Lincoln. Come right down through, flushing every one of them. All the way right down through the whole complete system. And if you recall back when we done the water tower, we used that water to, when we were draining it, flushing also. Back, what, 2 months ago, or whatever it was.
I have to think that's what is going on, why it's dirty
Yeah.
now, is you had low flow for a month, 2 months, whatever it is, right? You had just Lincoln feeding the system at a low pressure.
Okay.
So static pressure here is somewhere between 50 and 80. As you fill that tank back up, and then they were testing, recharging the system, now you're getting spikes in the water, and that's gonna stir things up.
Yeah.
So I think that that's probably why, that's my guess, is
Could-
that it
Could
just simply
we
needs
get
to be flushed.
notified once that's done so we can check here? Because $20,000 for a pump, I mean, that's a lot of money to run gravel through or run sandpaper, run sand through it. So if the town could call or whoever the water district, whoever does it, can call and say, we've done it, check it again. And then maybe they can come here and check here too.
If he's allowed to do it, he'll let me know.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we talk, so
Okay.
anytime he's doing anything.
All right. This is kind of like Back to the Future. Early on, I talked about when I was at a Enfield meeting this week, select board meeting, and then I had a meeting with Gina Batchelder, who's the town manager in Enfield, and she brought up some interesting and very good points. And we've had at least one town has asked for or recommended that Josh come and talk with and answer questions. And I said, that's not going to happen. That's the director's job or my job. Josh's job is not to go out into the field now and answer questions.
Not anymore.
So after being at this meeting the other night, and I dare say that your articles sometimes are very good, and other times they elicit potential responses from the public that shines not too brightly on us. So what I'm recommending that we do, and I told Gina we'd do it, I'd do it, if any of you would help me do it, that we're going to do at least 1 or 2 more public meetings like we did prior to standing up the district, to answer questions specifically about how the budget comes about and the nuts and bolts of the budget. The fact that there is no voting in each town by the budget, even though some towns do vote for the budget. And number 3, that why we do what we do and how we do it. Basically a open forum to ask questions. And I'd ask the chief to be there because there may be some technical stuff, but I'll be there, and I'd recommend or ask if all of you could be there, because there may be people from your town that ask a question. And then once this is formulated and we know the date and the time, we can we'll put it on in social media. We'll probably put a thing in the paper, and you can I'll send you the information about when when they will be. And I like to do 2 of them in November.
That'd be good, Mark.
Because basically, the gentleman that was there the other evening was asking some questions and making some assumptions that were not true. And I think it would behoove us to be, this is an open meeting, anybody can come, but people don't come. But they do like to take and make comments that it's hard, if they're not making it to me or to you or to one of us, how do you answer that? It just sits out there in the world, and people, whip each other up and potentially don't have all the facts. So I want to do that. I will do it, and then whoever else will come with me, I would say thank you. And we'll answer people's questions. And maybe we make this up into like a once or twice a year thing, that the district will be available for questions and you can ask questions.
Be good.
Anybody got a comment or a question about that?
I think that's very important to do, for willing to do it. We have 8 communities that we serve. 7 or organized townships.
Sure.
8,
Yeah.
8 and 9. And some of them don't see a lot of it. The only time they see the district is when somebody's sick or there's a fire. You know, we don't make a lot of appearances
Sure.
I think that's important for the public to see what we are, you know. And we've always offered the public to come here, but that's not always what the public wants.
Sure. And then they get to read what he writes. And Ben, I'm going to ask you a question in a second, but I'm going to make a comment first. I think it wasn't last meeting, it was the meeting before. One of the meetings I wasn't here. You wrote a really great article because I wasn't at the meeting, but it sounded very accurate through the whole thing until you got to the editorial comments at the end. And I think that when you made the editorial comments, it said that you kind of made it look like we're King George and the people in the district are the colonists who were revolting against taxation without representation. If that's your opinion, that's fine. It doesn't belong in an article. It belongs in an editorial by the paper or a letter to the editor, not at the end of an article. That's your opinion. Just want to throw that out there.
It's weird, but there's a lot of different styles and angles of journalism.
No, that's not journalism. Journalism is reporting facts and you did a great job. Then you editorialized.
Journalists do have a role to influence and drive public policy, certain outcomes. And I'm very minimal in how I exercise it, but sometimes I do exercise that role, and it is an appropriate role of journalism.
You did.
Wait a second. Journalists are, say that last part again,
What last part?
the last part of your statement, to influence people. That's what you just said,
Journalists have a role.
to influence
in shaping
people.
Public policy.
I just want to make sure I understood that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
Thank
first,
you.
so first of all,
We're not robots. We're
No.
all human.
hold on.
No, I just wanted to make sure I understood. Thank you.
I don't do it that much.
Okay, when you wrote that editorial at the end of that article, you were wrong. This is the most perfect form of representative government we have. I sit on this board.
I disagree. That's okay.
That's fine. You can disagree. I'm talking civics and facts. The people of Enfield they've elected 3 select board members. They represent the town. The select boards asked me to be the representative on this board here. I serve at their pleasure. I can be fired anytime. I'm here to do 2 things, protect the district and look out for the people of Enfield. That's purely representative government. If the people of Enfield don't like what the select board do, or don't like what I do, they can take it to the board and ask for me to be fired, or they can take it to the board and have them be voted out. That's the government we live under. We don't live under taxation without representation, like you said. And that's-
There's no no method of democratic intervention with you guys. It's the only entity in the state like that, which is fine. It's just the point that I think is important to be made.
Go ahead,
Because
John.
you let people speak, they usually subscribe to it. When you suppress people, you can't speak about this meeting, you can't vote on it, you have no say. That's why they get irritated.
Go ahead, John, before I blow up.
I think I started with that, but, I think it's also important to remember that we're following state statute. Someone much smarter than we are, and I'm in Congress, wrote these statutes and said, there's no ifs, and, or but. The select board of the town shall appoint a director. It's not, the town can vote however they want, very plain. When something says shall, that's certainly how it's done, there's no negotiation. So we have followed that statute to the letter of the law, as far as I know, as far as I'm concerned. Is it perfect? Probably not. You know, there's a side of me that says, yes, people should vote on everything. But in the district's defense, people do vote. Do they vote on that dollar amount? No, they don't. Or they don't. They're not. It's taxation, just like the county tax or the school tax. They can vote at a regular town meeting and say, we don't want to do that. If there's also things in place that says, yes, you will do that until this point in time. And I think it's around 2 years to give the district the opportunity to do something other than go under, because a town like Enfield, who pays a large majority of expenses, if they say, we're done today, this district would fold up. It's set up so that even though they say we're done, it's probably a 2 year.
A 2 year time limit, yes.
To give the district time, well, what are we gonna do now? If we're gonna lay off, we're gonna cut, what are we gonna do? We want to keep the district going. It's not fair for one town in a community, in a district of 8, to have to say, we're gonna close that district down, but we don't like it as a town. Taxpayers, select boards change, district directors change. We shouldn't rely on people's personalities and beliefs to manage this district, because it affects so many communities. And I think it's important to realize that. We're not doing anything. Anyone can come to these meetings. Anyone can sit in the audience or can do whatever to know what the budget is going to be. If people don't know that, it's either on them or on the select board, because they haven't. But I think district is, that's very open. And I believe the majority of the select board has been very open. I think this information's been posted quite well. I agree, you know, you and I have had the discussion before.
Okay.
I agree with Bob on that. I don't feel it's misrepresentation, taxation without representation. I think it's
There is no democratic mechanism, and
Wait a minute.
around taxes is pretty great. I mean, we've seen Howland is looking at a loophole of maybe electing a nominee. And, you know, Saboa's plantation, they voted on it. They had a guy criticize it, spoke against it. But the fact that he was allowed to speak, people were able to vote, gives the public so much confidence, he ended up voting for it. This man in Enfield is disturbed by the fact that he went to the town meeting and was told you can't talk about that.
Why?
It's not a warrant.
No,
It was
stop.
Maxfield, or
Stop right there.
okay.
Stop. Let me ask you 2 questions. Number 1, why wasn't he allowed to speak at the town meeting?
Enfield didn't present it as a vote like the other towns.
No, that's not right. You're wrong. Because it was not,
It's not a warrant.
it's not a warrant. It's not a warrant. So if it's not on the warrant, it can't be brought up. Because it's,
He
Yeah.
brought up other things.
He brought up
That was
other-
Not what was being discussed.
right. He had an audience Monday night, talked for a long time. I told him he could come to this meeting and ask any questions. Now, my next question to you is define democratic to me. Like you said, it's not democratic for towns not to be able to vote. Define democratic for me.
Something that's subject to the approval of the voters. School budget has a referendum, they elect their people. County is elected commissioners. A lot of towns, they have to have their budgets voted on. There is no vote for you guys. The indirect is 2 steps removed from the voter. They're powerless. They have no control.
Sure they do.
They can't even speak at your meeting,
What meeting?
your town meeting. They can't even talk about it.
They
And
can't.
that creates the anger. That's where it comes from.
No, I think the anger comes from your misrepresentation of the fact that they can't talk when it's by the bylaws and the rules that govern that meeting. I'll get you in a minute. But the rule, that meeting, they can speak about anything that's on the warrant. There is no warrant for this. This is a tax.
There is in Maxfield, there is in Sabonis, there is in Lowell. There is a warrant they
That-
voted on.
That's going to be one of the things we're going to talk about. Because when different towns use different criteria,
You should keep it the way these guys do it because it brings a lot more peace to the voters than the way you want to do it, which is not allow any discussion or votes at the town meeting. You're gonna have a mutiny on your hand if you go your way. To do it the way Sabonis, Maxfield passes, okay, we'll do it. Really?
Josh,
Mr. President, I ask that we move this discussion. I don't feel that it's worth any of our time here. It's very obvious that the Lincoln News does make public influence. So I would like for us to move on to something else that's
Okay.
worth my time here tonight.
okay, I'll take that. Do we have any public comments? How's the time? If there, I hear none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second, all in favor? Thank you very much. What's that? Oh, yeah. It's in the meeting.